If there is one thing that the history of the Jews tells us, it is that the attacks on them go back thousands of years, and whatever the world's greatest and most unforgivable crime is of any period of history, the Jews will be accused of it. And now, because it is the world's worst crime, Jews are accused of apartheid or racial discrimination. So what is this apartheid that Israel is accused of? We know it very well because we saw it in South Africa. We're forcibly segregated based on the color of a person's skin. The police, the government, the judicial system, hospitals, civil service, transport and education in South Africa were all organized along strict rules of black and white and categories in between. But South African black people will tell you now that they know that this has no bearing on Israel. They remember when they needed permission to live in white areas, couldn't marry a white person, had no vote, no representation in parliament. They note with astonishment that a former president of Israel, Katza, appeared and was sentenced before an Arab judge, Kara, in Israel. Nothing comparable could have happened under South African apartheid. Israel is a multiracial, multi-religious democracy. Minorities have basic rights guaranteed. They vote. There are no legal restrictions on movement or marital relations. There is free speech even to oppose Zionism. And most Arabs living in Israel say they prefer to be there and to have Israeli citizenship rather than go elsewhere. That may be because they have more civic, religious and sexual rights in Israel than they have in nearly all the Muslim countries that surround it, and in particular in Gaza and the West Bank, where freedom lovers would find life intolerable. Indeed, it is those who accuse Israel of apartheid that are themselves racist, in that their real motive is to deny the legitimacy of the only Jewish state in the world, and, if heaven forbid they got their way, they would return Jews to dispersion, slaughter, and discrimination all over the world. Even Richard Goldstone, the South African jurist not known for his support of Israel, has said that there is no apartheid in Israel, with its Arab population of 20% who vote and hold high positions. Occupation is not apartheid. Occupation is about a territory whose sovereignty is disputed, and where it would be regarded as a takeover if Israeli law were applied to those who live under the Palestinian Authority and Hamas. Discrimination and poverty, which exist, are not apartheid either. They exist even in the United Kingdom and America, where minorities may not speak English or fail to take advantage of the education system. The right of return to Israel is not dissimilar from the immigration laws of many countries, every one of which claims to control immigration and nationality by some sort of test relating to a bond with the land. The root of this calumny lies in the perverted 1975 Zionism is Racism United Nations resolution, which has been resurrected at every Durban conference since, in order to distract attention from the appalling records of the countries that support it. The time has come when the UN is more of a danger than a benefit to the world. Israel is accused of being a Jewish state, as if that was a crime in itself. But how many Muslim states are there? In 26 countries, the state religion is Islam, and often nothing else is allowed. And in twice as many, there are majority Muslim populations. In the United Kingdom, 26 bishops sit in the House of Lords, and the only other country with clerics in the legislature is Iran. The Church of England was invented for English purposes and is so prevalent and embedded in our way of life in Britain that it is not perceived for what it is, permeating holidays, broadcasting, education, certain jobs, even the monarchy. Sadly, students on campus have found a cause to rally freshers, namely Israel Apartheid Week. This is contrary to our law on equality and charities. but it has succeeded in influencing a future generation of our leaders. We know why this toxic word apartheid is being used. The Palestinian Authority wants to delegitimize and dismantle Israel and overrun the land from the river to the sea without a Jewish presence. It was the South African regime that was targeted by the word apartheid. But in the case of Israel, those who use it want the end of the state itself. Jews must fight and fight again for a tiny piece of territory, Israel, where they can live as Jews, free from persecution, and provide a haven for Jews who are persecuted in the rest of the world or who want to come home.